to yet another edition of Tech Talks with MJ. I have a very exciting topic for us today, and that is the iPad. Love the iPad as a really accessible device that has usually pretty big icons and is all around a simple device to use that can be super beneficial for your day-to-day activities with technology. What is an iPad? An iPad is a tablet made by Apple that has the abilities of a laptop with the functionality of an iPhone. So I'll give you a look at my iPad here in a second, but think about the iPad being like a much larger screen version of an iPhone where you have all of that ability plus more. If you've talked to me about technology since I've come to Ida Culver House Broadview, you've probably heard me sing the praises of the iPad. At this point in my life, don't have a laptop. I just use my iPad because I find that for all of the basic things I need to do, plus the few bells and whistles that I utilize in my editing life or drawing, the arts world, anything like that, I can get all of that on the iPad without having lists and lists of files and folders and where is this of maybe your traditional PC or even a Macintosh laptop. So what is primarily different about the iPad? Well, it's one screen. You maybe saw that mine has some extra accessories that we can talk about in a little bit, but generally speaking, the iPad is one screen. Unlike a laptop or a computer that you might have, there's no mouse. Everything you do is by touching the screen. So you have that great touch screen interface. So speaking of some of those bells and whistles, you might have noticed on mine, I have actually, my case is a fold out keyboard because the iPad doesn't come with a keyboard. So that to me, I think this accessory would probably be the most necessary option for you if you were to decide to get an iPad or to just use an iPad. You can absolutely type on the screen, but the icons can be kind of small and hard for our fingers to get in there and say exactly what we want. That or it's just slower. And many of us have adapted to a traditional keyboard. So the way that this works is through magnets. So this is, like I said, the case for my iPad, so it keeps it safe. But then it's got this lovely bend here. I can fold out my keyboard. The iPad locks into this slot and then it's safe to go. And I can sit it on my desk and treat it just like a laptop, even though it's a completely different device. So you might be asking yourself, if I have a smartphone and or a laptop, why would I need an iPad? Well, like I said, I think that the iPad is an excellent substitute for some of these devices. Of course, you need a phone in this day and age. Most of us have some sort of mobile phone. But as far as a replacement for some of these bigger pieces of technology that cost more money, this is going to be able to do all of the things that you like to do from one device. So whether it's text messaging, Zoom, FaceTime, email, you can even download apps like Netflix or Hulu. So if you want to watch movies and have entertainment from here. Of course, the regular app store is available to you with an iPad. So any kind of services that you might use for insurance or banking, all of those company applications are available to you on here, plus files, documents, just like you would experience on a laptop. Now, the iPad, so you can see we've got this great touchscreen interface. I like it because it's just these icons, right? So I know that if I want to go to my email, I just click, right? Or if I need to go to my notes, it's a simple click in. My music, whatever it is, that all I have to do is touch that button and there opens the app or the service that I am trying to use. So it's easier. To me, it's an easier use than fumbling through folders, files of a PC or a different kind of laptop or standalone computer. Now, you might be really used to that, and so there is a bit of a learning curve. iPads, when they first were developed, they actually had very young children use the iPad to see what would a child do to try to make this work. And they used that very innocent intuition to make choices about how the device would work. So these ideas like, oh, I want to go to the next screen. Well, that seems pretty simple, right? It's intuitive. And again, the iPad, simply put, is all the things you need and regularly use without all the extra stuff that you don't. Like I was saying, Zoom, social media, email, documents, text, browser, plus whatever you're using for entertainment, all of that's available on the iPad. Easy access and use of photos. If you have an iPhone, you can connect both of your devices to what they call the iCloud. From there, the devices are going to share information. So if you have photos that you've taken on your iPhone, those are going to be available to you on your iPad for you to look at, email, save. And you also have the comfort of knowing that they're saved and backed up. So should something happen to one of your devices, you aren't losing your precious documents, your precious photographs and memories. All of that is taken care of. Now, I think most of us are probably in a place where it's like, I don't need 600 documents. I need these 10 that are really important to me. Those can easily be transferred to your iPad from your other device, and then you can back up those other files that maybe you don't need as frequently, or maybe you just have for an emergency situation. I know a lot of us keep old tax documents for a certain number of years, but you don't need those readily available on a device. I recommend taking all of those pieces of information and backing them up on an external hard drive of some kind. Okay, so here we are. You can see my reflection here in my screen, which clearly needs to be cleaned. I've got a pretty close view here, so hopefully we can see as well as possible. So to get my iPad going here, there's a small button that in the orientation that I have it in, landscape orientation, will be on the upper left-hand side. However, if I have my iPad in portrait orientation, it'll be in the upper right-hand corner. Now, for screen gesturing, and this is pretty important, the iPad will adjust based on the orientation you have it in. So simply put, if I say drag up from the bottom of the screen, it doesn't matter if you're in portrait or in landscape orientation, you would still drag from the bottom of the screen. So here I go, I'm gonna click to wake up my iPad. There it is. Looks like I've got a software update. Now I can see right here that my iPad's already unlocked. This is because I've already been working with it today. This iPad, oh, screen went off, actually uses facial recognition. So when it sees my face, it knows it can unlock it. In the event that I'm wearing a mask, for example, and I'm trying to unlock my device, it won't recognize my face. But I would then put in my 6-digit PIN. And PIN is, again, a series of numbers that we use to unlock a device, much like you might use a PIN with a debit card. So here we are. I've woken up my screen. Because it's unlocked, it says swipe up to open. So I will swipe up, and there it is, my iPad. I just want to show you some basic functioning here. On my iPad, I've got 2 pages right now of different stuff, 3 actually, it looks like. So on this screen, I've got some apps that I use a lot. Then I've got some folders on this page. And now over here, a couple of additional apps. So to navigate between these pages, I'm just swiping left and right with my finger, like you can see. All kinds of stuff, everything from Sheets, which functions like Excel, to Amazon, Google, different Google applications here. If I want to check my weather, that's my bank. And then in here, I love board games. And so I've got a bunch of board games downloaded to my iPad. I've also got some music software for myself. Like I said, the iPad really functions for you. You get to customize the device for what you use and what you do. And since I'm a musician and I record and edit a lot, I've got some great applications here for that. Photography, And then over here, telehealth. This might be beneficial to you, as many of us are doing doctor's visits remotely now to help ensure safe practices during the pandemic. So I've got a telehealth app, and then Zoom, which we all know is super, super helpful in the pandemic years. So, and then down here, you'll notice I have some more apps. So this is called your dock. So on any device, whether it's your iPhone, your iPad, when you have this bar down here, that is your dock. I have chosen the applications that are on this left side of this line. These are important to me, or maybe the ones I use the most. Text messaging, email, using a clock. It's where I have all my files, and then my music if I want to listen to music. And then, so what are these on the right? These three things are the last applications I have opened up. So think of this little part as sort of on your remote control. If you go back to the channel you were just on, that back button, that's what these are. The iPad is always trying to serve you best. So it's wondering, you were in notes not too long ago, MJ, you probably are still working in there. So that's available for me to click on speedily. Now there's another page over here to the left. This is widgets. So these are just some kind of fun things. This is a pretty new aspect to Apple devices that has come with some recent software updates. So I don't have a lot here. This is, again, some weather, some of my activities, my planner, and then some things I have. This is telling me how my devices are charged. My iPad looks mostly charged. My Apple Pencil, which we'll talk about in a minute. And then some news, how long I've been using my devices, etc., etc. So you can customize that as well to meet your needs. Setting up your iPad and making some basic settings. Well, I want to show you, first of all, you have access to some quick settings by going to the top right corner of the device, and again, whatever orientation you are in, this works, and drag down. Okay, so now you can see my main screen has blurred, and I've got this little section of settings available to me, and I'll tell you about them. This first button with the airplane is airplane mode. If I didn't want to receive any calls or have Wi-Fi going, obviously we use this when we're on an airplane, but also it can be beneficial for other times. Great, got that stuff back on. Here we've got my Wi-Fi signal, my Bluetooth is on. This lets me know if I have something playing in the background. This controls the brightness of my device. This controls the volume of my device. And again, these are pretty intuitive things. That's a sunshine. So yeah, that controls the brightness of my screen. This is looks like a speaker with little waves coming off of it. So this is going to control my sound. Right now I have this little bell with an X. So that's for silent mode. Flashlight. You can see in the corner, the flashlight's on the opposite side of the screen, but you can kind of see it's going there. Timer, camera, remote for my Apple TV, and then that's actually a screen record option. So yeah, so some of the basic things you might need to do are right here. There's a couple more I don't think we touched on. Screen mirroring, you might use this if you want to watch something from here and put it on your TV screen. You could use screen mirroring to make that happen. And then this is an icon that controls its rotation lock. So that means no matter what, if that is on, this is the orientation the iPad will stay in. I like mine typically to adjust, and then do not disturb mode. And whenever you need to get back to your main screen, you can just click with your finger, one gentle touch, and you should be back. Now, some additional settings that you might find desirable. I went to my settings, which is this Gears application. Right here, it's gray. It's in my most recents, but I think I have it right there. So here's where you get to all of your basic settings. So what I just showed you before was sort of the quick navigation settings. Now this is the full control center of your iPad. You can see I'm logged in, my information is there. And this is really when you get to customize your iPad to meet your needs. Some things that I find to be really attractive about the iPad, particularly for those of us who may not be seeing as well. I showed you already you can control the brightness, but you can also decide if you want more of a dark theme or a light theme, depending on your vision. That might be beneficial to you. You can make some choices about how often your device locks. And then here we go. I can make the text size on my iPad as large as I need or as small, though I can't imagine anybody would ever want it that small. I keep mine right in the middle. But you can make it nice and large for you. And you can also choose if you want the text to be bold or not. Beyond that, you can make some choices about your home screen. And your home screen is that main screen where you have all of the apps and your dock. And right now I have mine on regular, but you could make yours bigger and it would look like that. Wow, isn't that nice? Some really nice large icons that I can identify quickly and with a simple touch get into. I'm going to return mine back. Some other basic things to point out on the iPad. It's very, very small in the upper left-hand corner right now for me, but I have the date and the time. Again, if you adjust your settings, that could be larger for you. And up here in the right-hand corner, pretty small again, I have my Wi-Fi, and it tells me how much battery my iPad has. How often should you charge your device? I would say charge your device once you get down to about 15%. For most people, this is going to be after multiple days of use. If you sit down and you watch a full movie on your iPad and you do a bunch of work on your iPad and then you listen to a podcast and then you read your book on the iPad, yeah, that's going to take a lot of battery. But most of us are using screen time, in such a way that the iPad should last you quite some time. Another wonderful thing I want to show you about the iPad, and this is an accessory that I have, and that is this device you've seen me using. This is called the Apple Pencil. This gives me the ability to use this for my touch screen, but much nicer than that. I can draw, and of course, erase. I can make lists. It's Saturday, I need to go to the grocery store. I need to go to the library, and then I have to do my laundry. Ooh, some messy handwriting for you there, but as you can see, some people really, really enjoy this device as an accessory to the iPad to be able to draw, to write easily. And in fact, nowadays, I can even write in this text box and it will translate exactly what I said to a text message. A couple more basic functions of the iPad that I want to tell you about. And one of those is pulling down here from the very top of the screen. That will take you back to sort of your lock screen. But if I do it from the middle and pull down, I get search. When I go to search here, it is not only going to search the internet, but it's also going to search my iPad. So I'm going to type in document. You can see that it has come up with something in the App Store I might need, different searches in Safari, which is my web browser, a document I have in Google Photos, some things I have in Google Drive, and then it's asking me if I want to search in my files, mail, messages, etc. So this is a great tool for you to be able to search quickly for something you may be needing. So if I want to see all the pages I have up, I do a drag up from the bottom. Now you can see I've got my email up, notes, settings, Safari, and messages. Now if I want to close out of those, I simply toss them away. Boop, 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 boop. A couple of other gestures to show you about. A simple hold down on the screen allows me to move apps around if I want to trade positions of apps or take them even to different pages entirely. And if I want to get rid of any of my apps, if I decide I don't need that app anymore, I can hold down on the app, and as you can see, they're all wiggling, and that gives me the opportunity to hit an X in the corner there that would let me delete an application if I no longer needed it. So again, side to side swiping gets you between pages. From the upper right hand corner gets you to quick settings. All the way down from the top takes you back to your lock screen and notification center. Middle of the screen takes you to search, and then from the bottom up shows you all of the windows you currently have open and allows you to navigate between them or get rid of them however you see fit. There are so many things I would love to share with you about the iPad, but as you adjust to your iPad and start using it, you might have some questions come up on your own, and I would be more than happy to answer those questions via phone or by email. That's all for this Tech Talk with MJ on the iPad. I hope you learned some new things and some easy functionality to make your iPad work and to make it customized for your needs. Again, don't hesitate to reach out to Life Enrichment if you have any questions, or email me directly and I will be happy to answer any questions you may have. We also do tech appointments Monday through Friday, 3 to 4 p.m. So if you would like some in-apartment help, we'd be happy to give that to you. Great to hang with you for a bit. iPads are cool.